Tonight is night 8. That's right, night 8 of 12 Days of Curtis. In case you're new to this, 12 Days of Curtis is all things Christmas, and it's all things Curtis, and it's all things all kind of fun. And we're here to just celebrate fun facts about Christmas, favorite Christmas traditions, favorite Christmas movies, and of course some of my favorite Christmas music to share with you guys. So drop your name and the city that you live in the comments. I would love to say hello to you. It doesn't matter where you're from. I would love to say hello to you and give a shout out to all the people who are logging on live right now. I'm so glad that you're here. And we are going to get started without any further ado. Tonight, we're going to do something super unique, super special, super unheard of. And are you ready for it? Because here we go! On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 8 maids a-milking. Now, you guys know I know nothing about farms. I know nothing about country life. I know a little bit about small town life, but not a ton about country life. So I have nothing to say when it comes to having 8 women who would milk cows. I have nothing to say because I don't know anything about it. And I can't imagine why you would give that as a Christmas gift, why you would give a person as a Christmas gift. That seems a little strange. But we're not going to talk about that. But we are going to talk about 8 different versions of one Christmas movie that has stood the test of time. Can you guess what it is? Put it in the comments. I would like to see. Who knows that there are at least 8 different versions of one Christmas movie? And I'll tell you, in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, it is Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. If you said that, you are totally right, okay? The first one that hit the big screen came out in 1951. Now, I've seen posters that say both Scrooge and A Christmas Carol that were released in 1951. I don't know what it was called, but that was the first one that came out in the theater. But of course, Disney hits the scene in 1983 with Mickey's A Christmas Carol. Okay, and that was the first animated version, perhaps, that came out. We're only going to assume that since it's Disney, right? And then in 1984, the version that I'm familiar with, George C. Scott, that Christmas Carol movie came out. And then, of course, the classic kind of parody on Christmas Carol called Scrooged with Bill Murray came out in 1988. And then the classic, There Is None Other, A Muppets Christmas Carol, came out in 1992. And then Flintstones also put out a version of A Christmas Carol in 1994. And then, following up 10 years later, VeggieTales, of course, puts their spin on A Christmas Carol, and they put out a movie called Easter Carol, which is basically the story of the Christmas Carol kind of set in the Easter story context. They're brilliant at what they do. So that was in 2004. And then, of course, Jim Carrey came out with a version of A Christmas Carol in 2009. So that is at least 8 versions of this story that has hit the big screen that people know and people love. I'm curious which one's your favorite. Everyone has a different opinion, but there really is only one right answer. So I would love to see what your vote is for your favorite version of A Christmas Carol. And one thing that has inspired in our house has been an addition to some of our Christmas tree options. So now I want to do the big reveal. So the Hunts have 3 Christmas trees: the tree of Christmas past, the tree of Christmas present, and the tree of Christmas future. So, the tree of Christmas past is basically what it says it is. It's just a tree showcases all of our kind of like classic nostalgic childhood ornaments that we made in elementary school, or that were made for us, or that were gifted to us when we were children, both Morier and myself, and now the boys as well. And so the tree of Christmas past boasts memories from the past that the Hunts have in terms of ornaments, and it's super fun. And that's the tree of Christmas past. And in the main level, of course, we have our tree of Christmas present, which is our live tree with just our Charlie Brown lights on them. And then in the basement, we have the tree of Christmas future. Now, I found these lights, these like LED lights that you can totally change with an app on your phone. And so now we have the Tree of Christmas Future in the basement, and I want to show you a picture of that. And basically with this app on your phone, you can totally change and customize the color and the design of the tree, and it's very high tech, and the boys love it. And so it's a fun new addition to the Hunt House. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I hope that it brings a smile to your face, and that maybe you'll enjoy a new performance of A Christmas Carol this holiday season. Well, my song of the night, of course, is inspired by A Christmas Carol, where we see him coming to grips with his greed is really not doing him any good. And so his transformation to become generous becomes a blessing to other people. And so that is what inspired me tonight to choose to perform for you Give Love on Christmas Day, which of course was made famous by the Jackson 5, but I put it on my album because of the message of that song is so needed for us to hear. This performance that I'm going to share with you is actually a live performance from a Christmas show that I produced a few years ago when we were living in South Chicagoland. And I want to give a shout out to the Village of Lansing for capturing this footage and for posting it on their YouTube channel for people to view and enjoy. One fun fact about this live performance is that all of the musicians on the stage, with the exception of the keyboard player, all had a role in tracking and performing my Christmas album live. And the bass player, George Jackson, is the audio engineer and the producer for the album. John Nowicki is on drums. He's the session drummer for the entire album. Dr. Courtney Harris on trumpet. He played all the horns on the entire album. Aaron Harris, who played guitar live on stage, was one of my colleagues there, and fantastic guitarist. And then, of course, Christian Black, who literally is off in the corner in the dark, and you can't see him very well, but he played keyboard for us live that night. And I'm so grateful for those guys and for their commitment to creating great music, and really appreciative of them. So I hope you guys enjoy Give Love on Christmas Day.
Special gifts, taking time to be kind to one and all. And it's that once a year when good friends are near, and you wish you could give more than just presents from a store. So why don't you give love on Christmas Day? Everything would be so happy if you would bring him love on Christmas Day. No greater gift is there than love. Yeah. People you don't know, and they smile and nod hello everywhere. There's an air of Christmas joy, and it's that once a year when the world sits here, but you like to find a way to show the things that words can't say. So why don't you give love on Christmas Day? The man on the street, the couple upstairs, they all need to know there's someone who cares. Give love on Christmas Day. No greater gift is there than love. And what the world needs is love. Yes, the world they need child on Santa's knee has room for your love underneath his tree. Give love on Christmas Day. No greater gift is there than love, and what the world needs is love. Yes, the world it needs your love. So why don't you give love on Christmas Day? Even the one who has everything would be so happy if you would bring them love on Christmas Day. No greater gift is there than
Thank you so much for joining me on night 8 of 12 Days of Curtis, and I'm so glad to have you with me tonight. Many of you guys know I'm a professional musician, and this is for a living, and so I would love it if you would drop me a digital tip or a donation of some kind. I'm available on Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal, and you can find me by looking up Curtis Wayne Hunt. Have a fantastic night, and I'll see you tomorrow for night 9 of 12 Days of Curtis. Bye!
People making lists, hiding special gifts, taking time to be kind to one and all. It's that time of year when good friends are near, and you wish you could give more than just presents from a store. Why don't you give love on Christmas?